अपने गम की नुमाइश ना कर, अपने नसीब की आजमाइश ना कर। अपने गम की नुमाइश ना कर, अपने नसीब की आजमाइश ना कर। जो तेरा है तेरे पास खुद आएगा, हर रोज उसे पाने की ख्वाहिश ना कर। तकदीर बदल जाएगी अपने आप ही है दोस्त, मुस्कुराना सीख ले, वजह की तलाश ना कर। Good morning, friends, and welcome to this live show. Let's talk. I'm so delighted to welcome you all. My name is Ekta, and we're doing this show live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. With a deep heart, I want to bring to your notice all that my co-host Malika Sothinathan will not be here with me today, as she has family emergency. Her father is serious. And I would rather request you all to send her blessings and best wishes. So let's start with today's show. And for the timing, I have with me Laboni Akhtar. Laboni, I would request you to come on screen and say hello to the viewers, please. Hello, Laboni.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
So happy to see you here. You're wearing such a nice bright theme.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to be a part with on this show. As you know that Malika has family emergency, so we too will run the show today. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes,
Okay,
I
so
am.
let's see what is there in the agenda today. So we have the Ontario leader speaking, and followed with that we had World Today. In that we will be talking to 3 people who are very much involved with this farmers issue, which has taken the attention of the world, being run in India. And after that, we have the speaker, Cheryl Gerard. She's a financial advisor. She's gonna give us a very good financial advice today. Followed with that, I have Prachi Arora. She's an educationist. She's gonna share experiences about how they're handling school kids and everything. With that, we have Sheetal. She's a visitor here, and during COVID time, she visited India. Then again, she came back, and we would like to know from her what are the issues there and why did she choose to come to Canada again. With that, we have Movie Mania. This director Tesing Rehtor Sherpa, who has agreed to come on the show. He has sent us recording, as well as we're gonna be running a trailer of his movie Karma, which has been awarded in many international film festivals. And then we have Best Practices in Lockdown by Malika Jain. And then we will end the show with this. So coming to the back to where we started, Lebony, you know what I wanted to share with you and with the viewers. I recently participated in a workshop that was on mental health, and I would like to share here what all the important tips they gave to remain mentally strong in COVID times. They said, like, most important is that you have a set routine. You try to go at the bed at same time, wake up at a same good time, depending upon what is your work schedule, because you know almost entire world is working from home. Only few of them are going out and working in the other environments. Other than that, mostly everybody's home, even if you're working or not, and it has been constantly being advised to be at home throughout. So what they said was, the very few important good things that they said was, maintain a routine, dress up every day like you used to do, keep yourself really clean and hygienic. Just because you're not sitting at home doesn't mean that you stop getting dressed up, you stop taking shower, taking care of your personal hygiene. No, they said it's very important that you maintain that lifestyle even today. Dress up nicely, do your whatever work you're doing from home, and along with that, in the meantime, try to do some kind of a meditation or yoga. And if the circumstances or if the time, if your surroundings allow you, try to go out for a walk, even it's for 30 minutes to 40 minutes. They're not telling me to go out or walk in snow, but if I can cover myself pretty well, I should also go. Though I do go for half an hour at least, depending upon what is the weather like. I do go for half an hour to 45 minutes, 50 minutes walk. It kinds of regenerate me. I feel really freshened up after that. So that's what they said, like these few things which they said it's very, very important to do it. And take a break in the daytime or whatever the time the schedule you're running. Take a break, do something which gives you pleasure, like listening to music or some kind of artwork, and do keep on getting connected with your family and loved ones through video calls and the StreamYard, Zoom, Skype, whatever you have. They said it's very, very important that you keep in touch with your family, talk to people, talk to friends. You cannot go out, but you can always talk, and it's very healthy for you to keep talking and keep, speaking and sharing stuff, what you're doing, what you're wearing, what you're eating. Just talk, it's important. And then he said, sleep, the sleeping cat pattern is very, very important. Try to go to bed at a regular time. Don't keep changing the time, that will ruin your pattern. If there's something really important that is keeping you awake, other than that, they highly recommend it that you should go to bed in time. Maintain that daily life schedule, everyday schedule. So do you understand, Lemony, what I'm telling you here?
Yes, yes, absolutely. You are correct. So, our life is very busy, so people are not able to continue this routine. So that's why they need to maintain it. So the busy time, it's very difficult to maintain. So on the mental health issue, so they try to guide our lifestyle, so how we can be stressed out and it can be very peaceful, no complaints in life. Because every time we get challenge all of the problem, right? So it's just come out, don't get solution. So if you maintain the routine, it will be going so very smoothly, and we can stress-free life and peaceful with get it together with your family, friends, and like lovable person, right? So I'm totally agree with you.
I'm grateful to Malika for giving me this opportunity here, and I also pray for her. I'm sending her blessing and my love to her that her father heals up, or whatever best is there by Almighty, it should take place. You know. Then five things that you are grateful to, gratitude, and five things that you look forward to, that you want to do in life. Like I have a long list. Five is very small for me. I want to travel to places. I want to go north. I want to see northern lights. I want to see iceberg. I have a long list. So, what do you have in your list? Just can you share with something with me, Lavani?
Yes, Ekta, thank you very much to give me this opportunity to share my lifestyle. Normally, I wake up early morning and fresh and have a pray an hour, and after that, I have full time job. So I go and finish my work. The work is absolutely the stressful. You know that how it's going. So then I come back and fresh myself, and then pray again, have dinner, and I have another like editing and directing work that's which I do from my home. So then I sit for that work, and I very completely like fresh minded, and I finish my work, and then around 11:30 or 12 I go to bed again, and before go bed I pray again and be relaxed and clean my all the stress from my head, and then I go to bed for peaceful sleep. So that's my routine that I continue all time.
Okay, my question to you was, what I said write five things that you want to do in future. Five things in your to-do list for the coming time that you look forward to. So tell me one thing that you really want to do. I will not ask for all the five things to you right here.
That's I want to do in future. Uh, I have a plan to become a filmmaker.
Leave it. Your voice is not clear. I think the best thing for you to say is you want to get married. You're looking forward to get married, find a nice person, and start up a life. Okay, let's leave it there. Let's talk something else here. So, I would like my team to start playing the world leader video here.
Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Toronto COVID-19 media briefing for Friday, November 20th, 2020. Joining us today is Mayor John Tory and Toronto's Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Eileen Davila. Mayor Tory.
Well, good afternoon and thank you, Brad. Today, the province of Ontario announced further restrictions for the City of Toronto and Peel region to help stop the spread of COVID-19. I want to thank Premier Ford and his cabinet for listening to public health officials, their provincial officials, and our local medical officers of health, Dr. Davila and Dr. Lowe, and proceeding to implement these measures. I believe our cooperation with Peel in the face of a similar serious COVID challenge will make it easier for the public to understand these new initiatives in this region. We asked the province for further actions because the numbers continue to go in the wrong direction, despite the City of Toronto having the strictest existing restrictions in the province. As a city, we put extra measures in place some time ago to fight the virus because we thought it was the right thing to do. Not the easy thing to do, but the right thing to do. The request for some of the further action we thought necessary, even after we initiated additional actions and measures of our own, was made by way of a letter sent earlier this week. And since then, even since then, we have seen case counts increase. We've seen hospitalizations increase. And tragically, more people have died from this virus. Today, we've also seen very grim projections from the Government of Canada that show without further interventions like this one announced today, COVID-19 could spread like wildfire right across our country. We have to stop this virus now to save lives, protect our most vulnerable, and ultimately to protect our economy.
A plan that provides us even now with the flexibility to respond to the challenges we face with a second wave of COVID-19 in our communities. My friends, we're here today because the higher transmission rates in some communities pose a real risk. So we have to be even more vigilant than ever. That's why we provided $35 million back in October to support schools in Toronto, Peel, York, and Ottawa. We know schools in red control zones or higher need extra support to keep students and staff safe. This is funding to hire even more teachers, to allow for physical distancing, hire more custodians, to enhance cleaning in schools, increase remote learning supports for students. Over the past 2 weeks, we have moved Durham, Halton, Hamilton, and Waterloo into the red control level. We have their backs as well. Today, I can announce we're providing $13.6 million to provide extra support to school boards in these regions. That's $13.6 million more dollars, which will enable them to hire in between 135 to 175 additional teachers, or about 240 more custodians, or purchase over 27,000 tablets and laptops for their students. We're also further expanding testing in our schools today. We're launching voluntary testing for asymptomatic students in regions of the province which currently have a high number of active COVID-19 cases. This includes Toronto, Peel, York, and Ottawa. This will build on our work with school boards and local public health units to ensure that testing is made available to the schools and communities where they need it most. We've deployed over 625 public health nurses for schools, including 64 nurses right here in Peel Region. These nurses supported our schools in developing and implementing COVID-19 health and safety plans, which includes infection prevention and control surveillance and screening, and what to do in the event of an outbreak. They have also supported communication and engagement with parents and local school communities, as well as broader health care sector. Our nurses have been absolute champions. Minister Lecce will share more details in a moment about further supports for our schools. But I want to be clear, we will spare no expense to keep our students safely in school, because their success is our success. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario.
We are facing a winter that's going to drive people inside more and more. And we're really at risk of seeing caseloads go up and hospitals get overwhelmed and more loved ones dying. So we need to do everything we can right now to slow the spread of COVID-19, to stop this spike in its tracks. If you were planning to see friends this weekend, maybe don't. If there was a birthday party or a gathering for dinner you were thinking about doing, don't do it. We're in a moment right now, or even with all the sacrifices I know Canadians have been making over these past 10 months, we are now going to have to really tighten up once again. This is frustrating because I know we've all heard stories of people who've thrown up their hands and are not doing their part anymore. People who have stopped wearing masks, or people who are going out more than they should. And it's tempting for all of us to say, okay, well, maybe I can loosen up a bit more too. But the reality is, we need to go in the opposite direction. If there are people out there not following the rules when we know we need to, well, then those of us who need to are going to have to do even more. Because it's the future of our country. It's the future of our children. It's the future of our loved ones and our seniors. It's our economy. It's our businesses. It's everything all together. We're going to need to have to do this for another few weeks, for another few months, and we can begin to see the other side of this. We can do this. We've done it before. We know what to do. We understand this virus much better than before. We need to reduce our contacts. We need to do it right now.
So the city of Mississauga is going to battle for small businesses like the many here along Lakeshore and Port Credit that are just being crushed by COVID. Mayor Bonnie Crombie announcing not long ago that she will be putting forward a motion tomorrow asking Peel Region's Medical Officer of Health to limit big box stores from selling non-essential items. Have a listen.
We'll be putting this motion forward for the health and safety of our residents, but also to level the playing field for our smaller retailers. I know that many of our small retailers are barely hanging on. They've been asked to close their in-person shopping at the most critical time of year for their bottom line, at a time when they make upwards of 50 to 60% of their annual revenues. And it is simply unfair that big box stores can continue to sell non-essential items to people in their stores, while small retailers cannot.
Now, this would mean stores like Costco and Walmart would have to rope off sections that are deemed non-essential, while aisles with things like food and pharmacy would remain open, a measure that's already underway in Manitoba. Now, Brampton remains Peel Region's COVID hotspot today. Mayor Patrick Brown says don't expect numbers to simply drop off under this lockdown. He's one of several mayors calling on the province for guaranteed sick leave benefits, saying that there's lots of evidence people are coming into work with symptoms because they simply cannot afford to stay home.
If I don't work, I don't know how my bills will get paid.
That's one thing we're hearing repeatedly in Northeast Brampton, the city's epicenter of big rigs and warehouses. Here, life is busy. The only sign of a full-blown pandemic are the masks on people's faces. Most warehouse workers we spoke to did not want to be identified, but fear and concern are top of mind. One woman tells me her company can't afford to provide protective gear, so employees are on their own. Are they providing the masks? No. So where you have to buy your own mask and your own gloves?
Yeah. I continue to believe that the elephant in the room is the abundance of essential workers we have in Brampton.
This week, the GTAHA mayors and chairs called on the province, saying they want to see an agreement reached and action undertaken by companies and governments to reassure workers that getting a positive test will not result in the loss of either their job or their paycheck.
Last I checked, 126 workplace outbreaks in Peel Region, and there has to be an appreciation that we have residents that are in difficult conditions where there is enhanced risk because of their work.
Now, we did reach out to the Ontario Ministry of Labour asking if the province has plans to enhance sick leave benefits. We did not get a response by airtime. Mayor Brown is also asking Ottawa for a dedicated isolation centre near Brampton's hotspot, calling it a critical tool in the fight against COVID.
As many of you already know, the province moved Peel Region into the grey lockdown zone as part of the COVID-19 response framework. I know that many of you are disappointed. I'm disappointed too. This is not where any of us want to be. This is particularly devastating for our small business community, as most have had to move online and to curbside pickup and delivery, right as the holiday season approaches and begins to ramp up. I also know that it's tough for our faith-based groups, as most have had to move to virtual services, as the new rules only permit a maximum of 10 people for any indoor religious service. The reality is that COVID-19 cases in hospitals have risen sharply in Mississauga over the last month. The province's decision was made in an effort to avoid school closures, avoid further spread to our long-term care homes, and to avoid overburdening our already at capacity hospitals. Most importantly, it was made to limit preventable deaths in Mississauga. Our numbers to date have continued to rise. Peel Region is averaging 441 new daily COVID cases. Mississauga averaging 124 new daily cases, and this is over a 1-week period. Our hospitals continue to see a flux of cases and are now stretched to their absolute limits, with Trillium Health Partners currently dealing with 61 COVID hospitalizations, 11 patients in ICU, and 114 pending suspected cases. That's 175 rooms allocated for just COVID or COVID suspected cases. In Brampton, William Osler Hospital has 62 COVID hospitalizations, 11 patients in the ICU, and another 50 suspected pending cases.
Hello, Brampton. The City of Brampton is in full support of this morning's announcement by Premier Doug Ford declaring a provincial state of emergency in response to COVID-19. Effective immediately, this decisive measure will order the closure of all facilities providing indoor recreational programs, libraries, and schools defined in the Education Act. Also licensed childcare centers and all bars and restaurants, except for those offering takeout and delivery. This essentially builds on the announcement we made yesterday, closing all bars and restaurants. Now it includes private sector locations for recreation and childcare. It's much broader, and we welcome that announcement by the province. It also mandates that public events of over 50 people are prohibited, including parades, events, and services in places of worship up until March 31st, but it could go beyond that. I expect it to go beyond that. In addition to the measures announced by Premier Ford, I'm strongly encouraging the province to order large shopping centres to close in order to further enhance social distancing measures across Ontario, and especially here in the GTA in Brampton. You look at Peel Region, whether it's the Bramalea City Centre or Square One, we've got some major shopping centres where we do not need large gatherings of people. There's no need for them to stay open. Declaring an emergency provides exceptional means to deal with exceptional situations and may open the way to additional resources, including supplies and services. This decision also protects volunteers who may now be covered by WSIB and draws public attention to the emergency information. Brampton's Emergency Operations Centre is also moving to a level 1 major emergency. Since the province has now declared, and unless we have special situations that would warrant it, we do not need to declare an emergency on a city level because it's now been done on a provincial level, which is more significant, where there's more powers that flow to ensure that we can protect the health of our community. A situation like this happens when there's disruption to our day-to-day functions around the city. And obviously, we're clearly seeing that. It's happening across the province. The City of Brampton supports any action needed to flatten the curve of COVID-19 and protect the health of our community, our province, and our country. We will continue to support the public by providing essential and critical services vital to the day-to-day life, including transit, which may be diminished in the near future, fire and emergency services, bylaw enforcement, which is also on a reduced level right now, in order to ensure that emergency services can access every part of the city. Our emergency responders continue to collaborate and work closely with the police and paramedics to ensure the highest level of preparedness possible. The city is committed to keeping Brampton residents informed and will continue to provide more information about the city's response to COVID-19 as it becomes available. I'm in regular contact with provincial and federal officials and will do my best to make sure Brampton residents know the most up-to-date information.
Report how the COVID has infected our province. I have also invited here 2-3 speakers to speak about the Farmers' Bill, which is taking a long toll in India and has taken attention from all over the world. I would like to invite on screen here Dr. Gurdev Pharma, Sabina Farhat.
Hello, not hearing you. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Pharma. Can you hear me now?
Not hearing you properly. I am Dr. Gurdev Pharma.
Dr. Pharma, can you hear me now?
I am resident of, I am permanent, I am citizen of Canada. So I am in the favor of farmers. They are actually in big struggle in India. So we are all Indian people living in Canada. We are in favor of farmers. So we are totally against the government of India. They have to think for the farmer. They are in the struggle time at this time. So I request kindly, I request to the Indian government, go in the favor of farmer. They are on the street now. They are in big problem. So this is my humble request to the Indian government, go in favor of farmers.
Dr. Pharma, I have a question for you. Can you hear me?
Properly, not hearing you properly. Not hearing you.
Okay. I request you to keep your mic mute for some time. Let me go to Sabiha Farhat in the
Not
meantime.
hearing you. Not hearing you.
Hello, Sabiha. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of my show. What is your experience and how do you look at this farmers' agitation in India?
Well, there've been an agitation going on for the last, 10 days now, and they've blocked all the borders around Delhi. Farmers from UP are also trying to get in. Farmers from Haryana are also trying to get in, and of course, Punjab is there. more states, farmers from more states are going to join on the 7th, and 8th is going to be a big Bharat Bandh here. India is going to be closed. And it's becoming a huge agitation. And last year also, farmers had tried to build up an agitation of this scale, but it didn't work out. But this year, it seems that they are not going to stop because of the bills that they have brought in, because of the way the government brought it in. It was an ordinance. An ordinance means that you are bringing something into the when the parliament is not in session. So you're trying to get an act which is not in when the parliament is not in session. And this is also under the lockdown. So this happened in June, and in September they made it a bill, made the bill into an act, and that was also a time when we were in the lockdown. And that was also a time when there was no questionnaire in the parliament. So nobody has really been consulted. Nobody has been spoken to. There has been no discussion. There has been no questionnaire. Everything under the lockdown, and very surreptitiously, the timing itself is very, very suspect. And they've done this, and so the agitation is at its peak right now. Let's see what happens on the 8th. The talks have also failed between the government and the farmers till now. There have been no talks. They want complete withdrawal of the act. They are not satisfied with a compromised situation. They want a complete withdrawal of all the 3 acts that they have brought in.
Okay, my question to you, Sabiha, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my question to you here is, government is always selected by people, and government, we expect to work for the benefit of the people. It's people here. Now, when the government has brought this ordinance and made a law here, they must have done some consultation, research, must have gone in depth. What are the issues? I don't actually understand how can government do something like this, which instead of bringing them benefit, it's making them crazy, and that's why they have come out on the streets everywhere.
Right. So one is the way they have brought in those acts. I already told you it's highly suspicious the way they brought in an ordinance is brought in only when you are in an emergency situation, and there was no emergency during lockdown to bring in an act on agriculture, and not just one act. There are 3 acts. Okay, so the way it has been done itself is suspicious. Secondly, what they have done. They've not consulted. The point is that they are trying to corporatize the agriculture sector. And that is why farmers are so suspicious of the government, because this has been done. This model has been done in Gujarat already. And, a number of farmers were in contract with PepsiCo for potato farming, and that did not work out because, crop is something which is not factory made, which you cannot manufacture. It depends on a lot of seasonal factors, your rain, your drought, your water conditions, your everything. So it's not really in the hands of the farmers to produce a certain amount, size, variety of crop. And that crop of potatoes failed in Gujarat. And so PepsiCo, did not accept that crop, and the farmers sold it in an open mandi. And the PepsiCo then took them to court and put a penalty of 1 crore on each farmer. An Indian farmer cannot pay that much. So this kind of model has already been, there. It was there in Gujarat, and it has not worked out for them. Bihar, it has not worked out similarly. So, and there are a lot of other points in this act, if you go look at it, who is, if the corporate agency is going to put in the money, like they are saying that they will provide you with the fertilizer, they'll provide you with the seeds, and, all that the farmer has to do is that he gives his land and he works on it as labor. But then if the crop fails, whose responsibility will it be? Will it be a farmer's responsibility or a corporator's responsibility? And then if they decide to take farmers to to pay the penalty, then there is not even a court. They've removed the section where the farmers can go to court against the corporate agency. An SDM is going to decide, under who the arbitration is going to be carried out by the SDM between the corporate agency and a farmer. So you can see this is an unequal battle. A farmer and a company like a PepsiCo or a Reliance or something like that, they're unequal partners in a contract. And how will a farmer fight battle? How will you decide that the SDM is going to be free of political pressure? He is a government officer. How is he going to be an arbitrator? Why take away the option of going to the court? Then there are other things like who's going to decide the MSP, who's going to decide what price the the crop will be bought at. Then there are many other things like what happens if the farmers don't get their payment on time? How does the government ensure that the farmers get the payment on time? In previous cases, we've seen so many times when farmers haven't got the payment for their crop. It happens every season between the sugarcane and the sugar mills. The sugarcane farmers never get their money from the sugar mills, and that's a smaller lobby compared to the corporate lobby. So how do you ensure that? So there are many questions which are unanswered in these bills, and that is what farmers want their answers for.
That is indeed quite disappointing. It's very heartbreaking to see them on the roads. And it's very disappointing to see why is government doing something like this, which is not benefiting a large mass, or basically the bread maker for us. They are the main bread producers for us, for everybody around the world. So that's indeed very heartbreaking. And to some extent, I understand that why are those people on streets. We also have a lot of students and a lot of families here protesting in Canada, which has also taken a lot of attention of the world, that quite a large number of people protesting in Canada. I have with me one student, Simarjit Kaur. Simarjit Kaur, can you put on your camera? Okay, there she is. Welcome, Simarjit. She's been protesting in Toronto downtown from last few days with her friends and family members. Her family has farmlands and they are all into this business, or they are farmers. So welcome, Simarjit. Please share your story. Why are you protesting here?
Thank you for calling me here. Am I audible? Okay. So why am I protesting here is that Punjab is a land of agriculture, right? And I'm native to that land. I've just came here 1 year ago, and still, like, I miss that place. So the very moment when the bills get passed, everything gets messed up, right? People just got crazy that what's gonna happen if no one is gonna purchase the crops, then how the money will come, right? Everything like that. Because few years back, government has passed something like green revolution in Punjab and Haryana to increase the yield, right? Why it was that? Because they want to earn something, and they experimented on these states, though these states were not suitable for these kind of crops, but still they experimented. And now when the land is become habitual of those crops, and then they are saying that we are not gonna purchase those things, right? Everything's gonna collapse, and they wanna establish multinational companies on that land where people don't know even about how to run a business. They are all about agrarian sector. The north part of India is agrarian sector, right? So they don't know anything about that. So as Sabha Farhat has told that Gujarat has faced all of the things, Punjab is literally gonna collapse with this bill. Because people there are not just indulged in this occupation for earning money. It's something inherent, right? My father has taken land from his father, right? His father has given to his grandfather, right? All of this is hereditary.
So, Simarjit, what is your message to the government of India? You sitting here in Brampton side, Ontario, Canada. You and your team and a lot of other Punjabis and Indians, Hindu communities, and other also are all protesting. I see on every intersection mostly. What is your actual demand or message that you want to convey through this protest here?
The one clear and straightforward thing is that they have to dismiss these laws, because if they don't do this, you know what's happening in Delhi, right? So this is gonna happen, and this is gonna become more bigger and bigger.
More violent, you mean?
Yeah, more violent. No, not violent. I can say that, but people are protesting peacefully, and in India, the government is saying that these are terrorists. How can you say that if a protester is protesting for his right, then he's a terrorist? The media there is like saying that these are
They kind of
terrorists from Punjab.
they kind of are labeling it,
Labeling it, right?
relating to something in past that has happened.
We are protesting here because these governments know what is democracy. We can protest anyhow. Like, we are protesting on the streets, horns and slogans. Everything was there. If this was happened in India, I'm sure most of the people were beaten, and they would be inside the prisons. I'm sure about that. But these countries know what is democracy, right? Democracy is a government by the people for the people. So this is what we are trying to say, that India government must understand the laws which are in their own constitution. Right?
I completely understand with you, Simarjit, and thank you so much, Sabiha, and thank you so much, Simarjit, for sharing your opinions and coming on screen and giving us your time. Thank you so much, and I hope the government of India takes care and it's considered. I'm sure something is going to take care. After all, they are elected by people for the people, and it's everything is for the people there. It's one of the biggest democracy of the world. With this, I thank you both, ladies. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So did you see the viewers how they have expressed and how Sabiha gave the update from Delhi? I hope things are being taken care. The government of India considers for them and everything is sorted out soon. After this, I would like to invite my friend Cheryl Gerard, if she has signed up already, if she's there in the studio. Team, can you please update me if she's there on the studio? Well, that's all right if she hasn't joined. Let's go forward. Dr. Farma was there who wanted to say a lot of things, but unfortunately he had some audio. Okay, he's back again. Dr. Farma, can you hear us now?
Yes, now I am hearing you.
Dr. Farma, what is your opinion on the farmer stake?
Farmer, actually, ekta farmer are in too much big problem in India. So we are here in Canada and we are too much worry for them. So our Indian government have to think about our farmers. They are in too much struggle. So they have to cancel all their 3 bills. So they are very black bills. They have to finish that. And then they can go happily back to their homes. So at this time in Delhi, they are too much in problem. So this is my humble request for the Indian government. So kindly help our farmers. They are in problem, and we are very in Canada. We are in Canada. We are Canadian citizen. We are very in Canada. So this is my humble request.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Farma, for agreeing to be a part of my show. Thank you. It was wonderful talking to you. Have a lovely Sunday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ekta, to give me time in the studio. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, have a wonderful day.
Okay. Okay, I would like to invite my dear friend Prachi Arora. She's an educationist. Prachi, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, thank you so
Okay,
much.
I would like to give a small introduction about Prachi. She's living in Canada from last 22 years and she's working as an educator and she has a work experience of working with children from last 11 years. She's very passionate about her profession and she feels it's a big reward to see children bloom into responsible, caring, trustworthy, focused and compassionate individuals. I love you, Prachi. You're a wonderful person. You're a wonderful friend. Also, one of my Krishna consciousness devotee. Please share your experience about being an educator and how are you coping up with students and this COVID time.
Good morning, Ekta, and thank you so much for having me in this talk show. You yourself are a very wonderful person, and I have learned a lot from you. So, as an educator, we are facing tough times, as everybody is right now, and children's safety is our number one priority in schools, as always. And during the COVID times, it has become, what should I say, essential. Because the parents are trusting us educators and teachers with the children, and we have to work around with all the protocols the ministry and the ministers of our health minister, education minister are wanting us to do during these times. So I would be the last person to say that it is not a stressful moment for all of us. It is, but at the same time, I have seen a lot of commitment coming from educators and teachers as far as the children are concerned. We enter, we do COVID screening, and then we are like all the time, focused on taking care of the children, like with wearing a mask, sanitizing, wearing face shields, and all the time helping the students to learn the new COVID rules, the new normal, as we call it. And children are reciprocating in a wonderful way too as well. So I guess we are doing our best to make sure that the children are safe in our schools and the parents can trust us.
Okay, tell me, how many times have you quarantined yourself?
Well, the thing is that according to the ministry, whenever the work area is being exposed, even if it is a staff or a child who has been tested positive for COVID, unfortunately, all of us in that work area have to isolate for 14 days. So this has happened with me once. I've already under quarantine. And I think that it is, we should be responsible for that. We should be responsible so that the virus doesn't spread. This is our main aim, that, we live under these conditions as normally as possible, right? And to be honest with you, Ekta, the children are doing an awesome job. Like they are following all the protocols. They are like listening to the teachers. They know more about COVID than all of us. So it is, in a way, it is easy. But I feel sad because there are a lot of times when children cannot, we have to tell children not to share, which is like, the bonding that comes with sharing amongst children. And they begin their day with a socially distanced hug. That is very precious to all of us because they come inside and they're little ones and socially distanced hug. So that brings our day, our mornings are like so proud, right?
I would like to know I would like to know, and also my viewers, what age group children do you associate with?
I work in the elementary school children, and I work in a child care center too. So mostly I am working around with kindergarten to grade 5 students, which are age 4 to 12. So
hard job, very hard job.
It is like at the same time, I personally feel that the bonding amongst the teachers and students have been so strong. Like we know what we are doing inside the school. And to be honest with you, it is stressful. It is stressful for the teachers because we go back to our families, right? And we have to make sure that we keep the children in school safe, ourselves safe, at the same time our family safe at home too as well, right?
I have to thank you endless. There's no limit of thanking you. The kind
I'm sure
of
everybody
work you're doing. You're taking care of our heart and soul. Our kids are our heart and soul. They are alive. So you're taking care of them.
We just love them. And we understand that the children's life has been drastically affected during the COVID times, right? Like they go outside to play, they are in a cohort, they don't go and mingle with other children in the school. Sometimes they come and say they don't want to talk to that friend. And we say, sorry,
Oh,
we are your friend for the
thank you
day.
so much, Prachi, for sharing this and coming on my show, agreeing to be a part here. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful talking to you, and I'm so grateful to you and other teachers who are taking care of our little babies, little darlings, and the future of this country. Wish you all the very best. Keep
Thank
safe.
you, thank you.
Take care of yourself and your family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ekta. It was wonderful talking.
That was Prachi Arora. She shared her story, how she's taking care of students, those little babies in the school and the special care. It was wonderful talking to her. Now I have with me in the studio Cheryl Gerard. She's a financial advisor. I would request my team to bring her on the camera. Hello, Cheryl. Good to see you. Put on your mic.
You too.
How
Well,
are
thank
you
you so much. I have to say I'm so honored to be associated with this group. You guys are doing such a fantastic job. Yourself, Malika, and the whole team. I'm so proud of you all. Wow, this is awesome.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. Unfortunately, Malika is not coming on screen. You know how she's got family emergency. Her father is
Yes,
not
yes.
well. So we're all sending her best wishes and prayers and
Yes,
so
please.
that so that whatever is best for her father, Almighty
Yes.
do that.
Yeah.
So tell us something about how are you doing and what's there for us. Sorry,
I'm
I
good.
just
Actually,
interrupted.
I was a little late coming through this because I was in Brampton as running some errands for an elderly couple of my friends of mine. So I got Malika on the phone and said 10:45. I'm going to be there. Don't worry. Malika's like panicking. Where are you, girl? So anyway, I'm always trying to help around, and a lot of my elder friends and clients can't really do grocery shopping and go out of, they need their mask, and they're also sick, right? So I go and do some.
That's so nice of you, Cheryl. That's so sweet of you. And as a financial advisor, what do you have for us?
Well, all I have to say is lots of insurance companies now just top up your insurance. Lots of insurance companies are offering hospitalization insurance now. So, because if you go to hospital, who's paying your bills? Right? That's the end game. I mean, you may not be in hospital yourself. What if your child is in hospital? You can be at home working. You need to be there with your child. And again, who's paying your bills? So I'm in that profession where I tell my clients, y'all focus on getting better and I will bring in the money to pay your bills. How's that?
That's so sweet of you. That's very good. So you advise each of us to go in for insurance and contact you. So can you also share your number here so that I can share with my people, my friends?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm on Facebook, I'm on various social media channels, but I will put in my number as well. Just so that if you have any questions at all, it doesn't have to be to buy insurance. Sometimes you just need someone to give you some good advice from, the insurance perspective. I'll be happy to do that. I work with a lot of clients. I do a health and sickness insurance, which is now called living benefits. I encourage everyone to get their living benefits insurance. Way more important even than life insurance. Life insurance is important, but if I'm going to be struck with one of those dreaded diseases like heart attack, stroke, and cancer, those are the number one diseases today. And the good thing is we're not dying because technology has improved so much, medical technology has improved so much. We're not necessarily dying from it, but we're living through those conditions and we're being off work for 6 months and more. And, it's really hard to make the bills paid at home, right? Like I was telling Malika about this 2 years ago. I met a fabulous couple with 2 kids, and I took care of their insurance for her. And then I asked her, do you have any critical insurance? And she goes, no, I'm young, I don't need it, maybe at a later date. But after talks with her and her husband, I convinced her to get the policy for her critical care. That's cancer, heart attack, and stroke. And she's only under 35 with 2 young children. I'm going like, you never know for the future, right? And it was a small policy, and she accepted it. And I got a letter from the insurance company a few weeks ago saying that she had a claim. Unbelievable. I called her up. I got her husband on the phone because she was going through chemo. And then he told me that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And he thanked me so much for the policy that I set up for her, because he said that the insurance company paid out a lump sum amount of money. And because of that, she could take the time to be home and start her recovery process and make sure the children are taken care of and the bills were paid at home. So I can give people their insurance policies, but when I hear that I was actually involved in somebody getting money back and a process of that claim, that is really more fulfilling than anything else. Over to you, Ekta.
That is indeed a wonderful job you did, I tell you. It's kind of awakening me also that I also need to go and get this done. You don't know what is there in future for you, man. So if we can take a little bit of precautions with something like this, which can help us.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
we cannot avoid a lot of things, mishappenings.
Our statistics, Ekta, right now, 2019 statistics is 1 in 3 people are getting diagnosed with cancer today. 1 in 3 is staggering. And that's only climbing, right? That's only climbing. Like women in our age group are highly susceptible to different types of cancers than men in our age group. So women are prone to the ovarian cancer, cancers of reproductive systems, stuff like that, whereas the men are going through their own set of problems at that age group. So it's so important to have them, you know.
I completely understand, and I hope my viewers who are listening to you and who are going to be watching this show later on, I will all forward them to you. Don't worry, and you take care of me. You give me a free insurance.
It was lovely talking to you all. I really enjoyed sharing my 2 bits. I'm hoping everybody has a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. It was wonderful talking to you. We'll keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was Cheryl Gerard, viewers. She did share her number for 905-601-6434. In case if you want to reach her, you can directly reach her. She's a wonderful financial advisor. You need not just take an insurance, but you can always consult her. We don't know what is there in our life, what Almighty is there and what is there in our destiny, but why not to be a little careful if we can be, and it can help our family also with this. Okay, team, I hope I have another viewer, another person joining in. Is Sheetal there? Has she joined the studio? Hello, Sheetal Grover. Wonderful seeing you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
How are you doing this Sunday?
Yeah, it's lovely Sunday, sunny Sunday.
Yes, indeed, it's a nice, bright, sunny Sunday there. So tell us something about yourself. You are a visitor here in Canada?
Yes.
So why are you visiting? Is there any purpose?
My kids are studying here.
So you visit them as a parent?
Yes.
Okay, I also came to know that in the mid of COVID, you went back to India in October and again came back within 3 weeks. Why did you do this?
Yeah, I came back because I love Canada.
Wow, we all love Canada.
Actually, my kids they need me right now. That's why I came here.
That's wonderful. I hope all the children who are studying here, all the students who are studying here, they are as blessed as your kids, Khushi and Vansh. I hope all others are also blessed like your kids. Okay, what is there that you have for me today? I came to know that you're going to be singing or reciting some poetry for me. What is it?
Yeah, what to do? I'm free here.
So you
So
make use
I
of time.
heard the songs and pick the lines what I like.
Oh, come on, now sing something for me then.
Yeah, for you. जिंदगी जैसी कोई सजा ही नहीं, जिंदगी जैसी कोई सजा ही नहीं. You like it? और क्या जुल्म है पता ही नहीं. और क्या जुल्म है पता ही नहीं. Actually, nowadays our life is like this. All are we survivor or whatever.
Yes, agree.
इतने हिस्सों में बट गई जिंदगी. इतने हिस्सों में बट गई जिंदगी. मेरे हिस्से में कुछ बचा ही नहीं.
क्या
My
बात
voice is
है.
not so good.
But whatever you sang, it was great. इतने हिस्सों में बट गई है जिंदगी, मेरे हिस्से में कुछ बचा ही नहीं. क्या बात है, सुभान अल्लाह. बहुत खूब, बहुत बढ़िया, फैंटास्टिक, वेरी नाइस.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you're making good use of time and entertaining my viewers. If you keep singing, I'll keep inviting you in my future shows as well to sing something.
Thank you so much, Ekta.
It was wonderful having you, Sheetal. I hope your family back home is doing well.
Yeah. Hope. God bless.
All right. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of my show. It was wonderful having you.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, now I have with me Labani Akhtar. Labani, please come on the screen. I want to see you. I can't see you. Hello, Labani.
Hello, Ekta. I'm back. I'm back with you.
What do you have for me today and for the viewers?
I'm thinking, why not something different that is helpful for everyone? I'm thinking to give some movie Karma. It's a very wonderful movie. So I like to introduce a little bit. Like we eat every day, our body need food. At the similar way, our soul need also food. So this movie is talking about that, the meditation. It's not about the religion, it's about our humanity, the human parts of our life. It's very important. So if you have time, the audience, to watch it, so that will be grateful. It will be very helpful for us.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Team, can you play the video, please? We're playing a teaser here of this award-winning movie Karma. It's been directed by a gentleman, a producer-director who's from Kathmandu, Nepal. Let's have a look, viewers.
답변 지우셨으면 누가 있어요? 까마까마.
교보쇼 상객이 너무 말랑돌니기 까르마 웨스트들 캠퍼가요면 먼저 장마하고 그래
양모 타분나 주드. 딱바지 타분나 가르치는 주이나.
까마 요쇼다 드스돌라 만나 까마 요쇼 나 폭파된 적이 송마이 나 로또나 마버린 나 폭파된 적 송대에
까마 이 마데다 다 교보 대쇼.
까르마 교보쇼 다 치장소 까마 나랑 예워지다
까마 교보쇼. 까마 대쇼.
까르마 담마 대쇼다 까르마 교보치 란롱 바에 추차ሰር다 알레 호레라 나 템바 제샤 나 제어디 키운 그렇지 나 니를 죽인다로
야야 랑 요요. 캐몰라 세면시에다 아니 슈드 아니 저로 그발을 페로나 아니 춘추춘추스가 페로나 날 로보 콘소 요린 리사레 라스 키모 왜 제대로 대셔도 대셔도 전다시고 가나선 되지 니마 니고선을 줘 대드마 라마선 체지해도 까마 삼점 먹으러 있는 누워 가이나 여태는 좁았더니까 뭐 잡아줘들도 소야 그 잡아다지 동사이래 좁아가 인기래 좁아가 에 야도 참참 저도 너무 독주사니 좁아가 이도 니 제자 카라데 제다 되니 갖고 먼저 나 잡은 알다 같이 니 때랑 상신 다 제다서 주 까마 코스는 그거 땅도 데 체렌도 따도 맞서 대 취조 용으로 되게 갬바 진짜 제지 진짜 크지 뺏게 쳔버려 건다 아니라 다야 주 저빠 거에 진짜
Hi, Malika. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. So, as you wanted me to talk about the COVID situation in Nepal, in Nepal, initially in the months of March, April, May, we had very few COVID cases. Then it really started exploding, and now we have over 2 to 3,000 a day, out of which more than 1,500 are in Kathmandu. So that is actually a lot by Nepal's population. I think a lot of people are being careful and not going out of home. And the government also has instructed, unless you have very important work, you should stay home. A lot of the shops are closed, a lot of the businesses are down. So in this context, film industry also faces the same problem that other industries do. We have not been filming for the last 1 year, and a lot of actors actually are facing a lot of problem because many of them were doing daily work and were paid daily, so they have problems. So we have some associations that are helping them, and so that's the situation right now. Actually, very few films are being shot. Of course, there are people who have tried to do with proper, social distancing and mask. So the whole thing takes so much time that I think it's actually very, very difficult to work during the COVID. So unless we have a vaccine and things come to normal, our industry will be in a problem. And about Karma, that I released recently in YouTube. Karma is actually shot 15 years ago, and it had its run in the theater and festivals. And so during this time, I thought it would be nice to share when people are staying home, and and also Karma hasn't been shown around much outside of Nepal. So I wanted to share it, and so the main message that I wanted, or the main question that I wanted to raise from this film is, what is more important? Is it going out and doing social action and social work, or staying in the monastery and do prayers and meditation and stuff like that? So, or even if they can coexist together, or are they contradictory to each other? So stuff like that. So the film just tries to raise some questions, and then it's up to individual or the viewers how they want to perceive and how they want to prioritize things in their life. So I hope you all will enjoy Karma, and I wish Malika all the best with her new webcast or podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sherpa, for sharing this. It was really very nice, and I hope we all get to see this movie, Karma. Of course, one of my friend Malika, my co-host who was supposed to be here, she did see it, and that's why she gave this review also about this. So I'm gonna see this soon, and I will give my review to you as well. After this, I have my another friend Malika Jain. She's a very young girl from India. Hello, Malika. How are you? So happy to see you here. What do you have?
Same here, same here. Yeah. So, how are you doing?
I'm very, very fine. I'm really happy to see you here, and I'm missing my friend Malika Sothinathan here. What do you have for me and the viewers here, Malika?
Like, I'll be talking about the best practices in lockdown, like how India is like acting and how India has been doing it. So I'll just speak like I see daily new cases, like new cases are being reported every day in numbers of hundreds, thousands, and many more are like being on. Many more are dying. Like I don't know what's happening because people are not even listening. Like they're not wearing masks, not maintaining this social distancing, going in a crowd, attending weddings, events, concerts, and everything like that. Like I really think that like people in India should adapt, or maybe the government in India should adapt the model by New Zealand. How New Zealand has been now COVID free, and how they are acting, and no more restrictions are there. People are enjoying and people are going out, but still they maintain social distancing. But yeah, in India, like I see there was a wedding where everyone was attending and the capacity was of 50, but still the people were invited were in terms of hundreds and 200s. Like people were there and attending the wedding. So next day we get the report and we get the news that the bride who was in her wedding, the bride was found COVID positive, and the 90% of guests were COVID positive reported. So this is what, like, we think that in this terms, I know marriage is an important part of our life, but this is not a time to do the marriage, weddings, and events like this, or maybe something we should go for the functions. Yeah, so like the best practices is like we still do and don'ts. We just follow do and don'ts. Wear the mask, maintain the 6 feet gap, social distancing, and everything. So that's it.
You mentioned about the New Zealand model. Do you have something in visual to show us? Do you have something in the visual to show
No,
us?
right now we are not showing any visual, but I can talk about it.
Okay, then please share more about it.
Yeah, so in New Zealand, people I see they just continued for 24 days. There were no cases found, and like I saw the video, and the Prime Minister was dancing a little, like there are no new COVID cases in New Zealand. Like how they just restricted the border from China, and like no people from China can enter the border. Also, like people, I think the New Zealand just self-isolated. Like no, there is I see the world in a different side, and the New Zealand on a different side. That how New Zealand is working so good, like in how to like. I just compare this with India. Like India is not meeting that much of. I think there is no fear.
Okay, Malika, I got a message from my team that they have some visuals to roll in here about the New Zealand and about what you're talking here. Let's see what they have. Please, team, can you play the video?
Good afternoon, everyone. We are now a matter of hours away from an unprecedented lockdown of our country in order to combat an unprecedented virus that, left unchecked, would have an unacceptable toll on New Zealanders.
New Zealand had a pandemic plan, and it was designed around the flu.
It became apparent that if we followed the steps in our pandemic plan, we would go down the track of other countries and not being able to manage the outbreak in our communities. So we had to change tack.
Our plan is simple. We can stop the spread by staying at home and reducing contact.
All across the country, stores are emptying, and so are the streets as New Zealand gets ready for the lockdown.
Non-essential businesses in New Zealand must now close. All bars, restaurants, cafes, cinemas, pools, playgrounds.
Were we overreacting? Some people said we were. And certainly when the scientists say shut the borders and lock down the country, that's quite a hard scenario to justify. We'd predicted that after we locked down, the cases would continue to go up.
There are 40 new confirmed cases. There are 50 new, there are 78, there are 85 new cases of COVID-19 in New Zealand.
We all held our breath as we saw the numbers start to level out and realised that the lockdown was probably working.
The WHO guidance on how to respond effectively to the pandemic was really clear. The core public health measures of testing, contact tracing, isolation of cases and close contacts were fundamental to being able to break the chain of transmission in our community. We had already established our testing capacity, and we continued to increase that and started to test more widely.
In the past 24 hours, more people have recovered from COVID-19 than have caught it.
Pleased to report that today there are no new cases of COVID-19 in New Zealand. Good news, our 13th consecutive day of no new cases. A really core part of our success in this was the coherence and comprehensiveness of our communication campaign.
I'm speaking directly to all New Zealanders today to give you as much certainty and clarity as we can as we fight COVID-19.
It was really important to have very clear and consistent messaging.
This is a COVID-19 announcement.
That helped the population to understand the why and also what was expected of them. New Zealand got to a point we had 24 days without a new case, and we're effectively have been able to open up most of the economy but with still very stringent border measures.
E tū Aotearoa kia mihia. Tai tēnā ho mate korona kore tātou.
What was your immediate reaction when you heard there were no active cases of COVID-19 remaining in New Zealand?
I did a little dance.
We are really only at the end of the beginning, and we need to make sure we remain vigilant and don't undo all the good work we've done over the last few months.
And so while the job is not done, there is no denying this is a milestone. So can I finish with a very simple thank you, New Zealand?
Thank you so much, team, and thank you so much, Malika, for coming on my show and sharing your thoughts about how strongly we all can be together and fight with this corona. It was wonderful having you here. And thank you so much, viewers. It was wonderful to have you here. This is our first live show. Please give your feedback. Send us email, or you can send your messages here on the number being scrolled at the bottom. And next Sunday, we'll be bringing more interesting people, more people who are on the front line, and also a leader who's going to be giving us a strong message, how to be strong in COVID times. Till then, all of you have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful Sunday. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay within your family bubble. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.